Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. I was just filming my end of year TBR and it really made me realize I need to get this video going, and that is because this is going to be my vlog where I'm going to read my besties' favorites until I find a 5-star. The reason I really need to get this video going is because theoretically this could go on forever, and I need to know. I need to get it done so I can get it posted and find out how many books I need to read. In a dream world, I could get this video done in exactly 7 books, and I could read a book from all of my friends' favorites. But also in another dream world, I read one book and then another one book, and they're all just 5 stars. And I'm so happy, and I do 7 different 5-star vlogs. So just to give you a little background, my besties and I each year have started compiling a list of our favorites that we want the other ones to read. And then within the next year, our goal is to read one choice from every person. I have, of course, pushed this off into December. So I need to get a groove on this challenge. If you have seen my end of year TBR, then you will know that I have a selection of books for each person. The first being Ashley from Ashley's Reads on YouTube and Of Fiction and Fantasy on Instagram. The next being Martine over at Just Martine, Bailey from Is Bailey Reading, Ruby from Ruby Read, Lizzie from Lizzie's Literary Life, Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads, and Adriana from Carbon Bonded Books. I love my besties literally more than I could ever express. Like, these people get me through every single day. I really hope I can find a way to incorporate every single person into this video, even if I don't get to all the books on the list. But I truly just appreciate them so much. And I'm going to link them all down below. Please go subscribe, follow them. Just check them out because they are truly some of the most magical, wonderful humans on this planet. I'm going to stop gushing because I will actually get quite emotional. But because in my TBR, I kind of went through a couple options for each one, I'm not going to do a whole list now. But when I choose the person, I'll get into that. And I'll show you at least like a screenshot of some of the options I have. But now I'm feeling nervous because I think I'm going to choose, the one I'm going to start with right now. So when I was making this list of like which copies I wanted to get from the library or just get a hold of digitally, any way I needed to, I went through each person's list and I kind of did 3 colors. I said ones that I was not interested in or I read and hated. Then I did ones that I was interested in. And then I did ones that I was like, okay, we'll see. This feels like them, so I want to give it a shot. There was very clearly one person that I had the least in common with. Like, I was looking at this person's list and I was like, what am I gonna find? What am I gonna read? I don't know if I want to read any of those, but I kept looking, I read the descriptions, and I found 3 options for them. There is also one person who was very clearly like, oh, I've read and loved every single thing on their list. I'm nervous because I think I'm gonna definitely love everything on theirs. And so they're gonna kind of be our ringer at the end. If I feel like I'm struggling, they're going to come in and kick it at the end. Now, it's kind of a common joke in my friend group that Martine and I don't agree on books. We just do not see eye to eye on each other's faves. But surprisingly, they are not the ones that are on this list as my most nervous. That would be Ashley from Ashley Reads or Of Fiction and Fantasy. Her list was hard for me. Now, Ashley does read mostly fantasy romance. Not that I'm against that genre at all. I do have some favorites within it, but the ones specifically on her list this year just were not quite hitting for me. But I did find 3 that intrigue me. The first one is actually not a fantasy romance though, and that is going to be Beach Read by Emily Henry. I have not read a single Emily Henry. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really have an interest in reading any Emily Henry, but I grabbed this one just because I know she is so popular. She's just everybody's favorite. It's definitely not what I'm in the mood for right now, so it's not going to be the first one I pick up, but it is a backup choice for Ashley if I end up not liking any future books. Then the next 2 I'm going to show you at the same time, and we're going to walk through why I chose the one that I did. So the first other option I have is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and then Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. These are both fantasy romances from what I understand, so I did want to do a fantasy romance since that is Ashley's preferred genre. I guess I'm kind of just assuming it's her preferred genre. This year I've definitely seen it be the one that she reads the most, so Ashley, please correct me if I'm wrong. But of these two options, this one is already so popular, and I really love the covers on these, so I think I'm going to give Castles in Their Bones a shot. I just would love to read one that's maybe a little less known. It is a little beefy, but I want to say it's a young adult. Yeah, it's in the teen section, so it is a young adult fantasy, which I still love young adult, so this does still have a chance to be a 5-star, and the video is like 15 minutes long. But we'll find out. I don't know anything about this one, so I will let you know more once I'm actually diving in. But yes, I'm really excited. I can't believe this is finally happening. And I'm ready to kick it off.
Girl, such a problem. Tell me what I gotta do so I can solve it. 'Cause I can't solve it. And it's honestly insane how much I want you. How much I want you. Oh, it hurts to be so close. I just gotta know for sure. So tell me if you love me lots, so love me not, love me not. 'Cause I don't wanna be the only one. Just thinking, did you ever really give it up? What we had just lit you up. So hold me close and say you won't let go. And I could just move on. There's no one in the world as cool.
Hi friends, I'm jumping in now to give you an update because I am about 180 pages into Ashley's pick, Castles in Their Bones, and I have some thoughts. You should have seen in my little bit of B-roll that I am doing things every day to channel Ashley in my life. So Ashley's a home workout girly, so I started my day yesterday with an MK Fitness workout from home. I did like a lit Sabrina Carpenter routine. My butt still hurts. My besties and I also do Secret Santa each year, so I've been creeping on that list to see like other things I can do to channel her. And so I wore my fuzzy socks because she loves fuzzy socks. And I have this like dark chocolate sea salt granola bar that I enjoyed also because she loves dark chocolate, sea salt, and caramel. We also both love Taylor Swift. We both got the pleasure of seeing her at the Eras Tour. Not together, I wish, maybe in the future, but we both had our individual concerts and it was special. She also loves magnetic bookmarks, so I am using this Taylor Swift Karma is a Cat bookmark that's magnetic for my book. Even my outfit, like she's a curly girl method, so I'm trying to be very curly today, and I'm just living my Ashley life, and it's been really, really fun. It's just like great to do everything and think of her as I'm doing it. And literally while I was reading, you would not believe it if I told you what fell out of one of the pages. So when I got to a certain point, a sticker fell out, and it's literally this little pink cow that says, "You are so beautiful, wow." And it is so Ashley coded. I literally gasped when it fell out. I was like, are you kidding me? This is so something she would do, is like leave a cute little sticker like this in this bookmark or in this book. I thought it was absolutely adorable. I'm going to keep this, but I do think I'm going to replace it with another sweet like encouragement sticker for someone to receive when they read this next. I just love that idea. And yeah, this is so Ashley. Ashley is very high Barbie, and I love that because I'm also very high Barbie. So let's talk Barbie about this book. I have these little library note cards where I am taking official business notes on my thoughts as I'm reading this. The good news is I'm really, really enjoying this. Definitely don't think it's going to be a 5-star. I think it has the potential to be a good, solid 4-star. So I'm happy it's my first pick. I'm definitely going to keep reading it and making my way through. The first thing I want to comment on is just it's so cheesy. The names in this book of the cities and the characters literally feel like the author rolled a couple die and created like a random name generator for fantasy names. They're so bad in a way that I cannot really articulate, and I felt really validated because some of the Goodreads reviews said the same thing, and I was like, thank God it's not just me noticing this. I am pushing through that though, but the writing in general is very, very clunky. Even beyond the names, like the general sentence structure is just trying too hard. I really think it's trying way too desperately to be this high fantasy setting. And it could be very unfairly that I am reading this after reading the Stormlight Archives. Like, that is literally one of the greatest epic fantasy series of all time. And then I picked up a YA fantasy. And it's not that I think this doesn't have the potential to be just as good as Brandon Sanderson. Like, just because he's reached this peak of author notoriety doesn't mean another author can't do that in a different genre or a different medium of age level. I just am noticing things I preferred his writing over than her writing. But her characters have sucked me in just as much as Brandon Sanderson's did. To give you a little information on this book, this follows 3 triplet princesses who are set off to be betrothed to different princes and kings from different areas of the world. And there is this born to rule, raised to deceive, where they're all going to these places but have ulterior objectives to basically start wars and conflict and return home to their mother, where that's like where they'll go back to rule. So they're like being sent off and married off, but the whole idea is that they're going to do that and ruin those countries and then go back home and take them over. I really like that spin. I do think triplets, especially like 3 princesses, has been such a common trope in young adult fantasy right now, but I haven't read much of it, to be honest, so I get to enjoy the fact that it's still kind of unique here. And I thought I would like find a hard time getting into the characters, but I haven't. I've definitely fallen for it. Like, I'm into each one. I really want to know the story of what's going to happen. The names are such an atrocity, though, that it is distracting. Like, it's upsetting to try and figure out what country they're from or who's speaking, because the names I am trying to ignore so hard. But it's not that deep. I can still move past it. I think that's just what... I could never give this a 5-star because of how distracting that is. Literally, one of the boys is named Pascal, and I just keep thinking of the lizard from Tangled. The biggest plus I will say, though, that I actually love is, even though I'm getting, like, annoyed by the names, there is a map, but more importantly, there's a lineage tree, and that has been so helpful. I've actually, non-ironically, gone back to this so many times to try and keep an idea of who's who, and that's something I specifically wished that, like, the Stormlight Archives did in the beginning, was had, like, more information. They do have the glossaries in the back, but you know what I mean? Like, I want something simple for a new reader to be able to flip through, so that's been actually such a great benefit to this book. Like I said, though, overall, I'm having a great time. I think that the sisters, there's Daphne, Sophronia, and Beatriz. I think that they're cool. Each character feels unique, but you could see how they were all raised by this kind of tyrannical mother who has forced them into caring for each other and thinking that, like, they need to do these acts of betrayal. But I'm intrigued to see how the sisters are going to break away from her abuse or, like, maybe not straight abuse, but definitely emotional neglect and emotional just meanness, and see how they form their own connections and what decisions they're going to make ultimately. I'm intrigued with that. So yeah, I'm really excited to keep reading. I think this was a great pick. It's such a fast read. I do still love young adult fantasy, and this is why, is because it's so quick and literally like popcorn. Like, I can't devour it fast enough. I do have to work tonight, which is a bummer, but it is actually for silent book club night. So it gets really, really busy when we're making drinks, because I'm a bookseller and a barista, so I do both depending on the event that we have. And so making the drinks can get really intense because it's like 50 people at once. But then I'll have an excuse to read for an hour. So I will bring this with me, and hopefully I'll make some more progress. I don't know if I'll update you before this is done, but we'll find out. Hi besties, I just got home from work today. Yesterday was Silent Book Club. I went a little early to do some work and play a little Sims because Ashley is a huge Sims player. She loves the game. She even runs a readathon that's Sims inspired. So I had to get a little bit of that Sims time in because it's also one of my favorites. So I kind of hung out, did that, and then at Silent Book Club, I managed to get to about page 231. So definitely made a good chunk of progress. I think it put me at like 44% or something like that when I updated my Goodreads. Right now, Lizzie and I are going to do some reading together. I just want to jump in and let you know, I really don't have anything like plot-wise to update you with. There's not much to say. I wouldn't say it's the most unique fantasy romance, young adult fantasy romance, but I'm having a good time. I'm hooked. I do care about these characters, and that's a pleasant surprise. So I'm going to go keep reading. I would not say this is a miss. Like, it's definitely worth picking up. So that's what I'm gonna go do now. And I'll check in. My hope would be, like, I'd like to finish this book. Like, my next update with you, I would like to be saying that I'm done with it. So, and I would like that to be tonight, because this does read really, really fast. I do enjoy that. It's a super, super quick read. Even though the writing is clunky, the overall plots and the plot steps and the pacing is really good. So, I'm gonna get to it. That is such a wild ending in a way that I so approve. Laura Sebastian has balls. That got me. I'm pretty shook. I am obviously not going to say what happened, but wow. I cannot wait to talk to Ashley about that. Because I can't even express anything to you, but I recommend this book. I think this is a very fun young adult fantasy. Luckily for this challenge, it is not a 5-star. I am going to go with a very, very solid 4-star. I think this is a really fun read. I could see myself being more attached even into the future ones. I will definitely be continuing the series, but the writing itself was just not quite up to par for me in terms of like the sentence structure. Certain lines were way too cheesy. The whole writing in general, I kept mentioning, just kind of was difficult to get through sentences. But the overall experience was very worth it. It was very, very good. I look forward to the next one. One of the only last notes that I took to mention for you was that I really love political fantasies. Those are my preferences versus like super actiony war ones. I like the politics. So it was really cool that in this book, you get not only one country's politics or even two, you essentially get 4. Like you get the 3 sisters, you get their homeland a little bit, and then you also get the 3 countries that they're sent to. And I think that that is really cool. It was really engaging, and I really, really liked it. So thank you, Ashley, for such a fun pick to, well, I guess I picked it, but a good choice, a good option to kick off this challenge. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and tomorrow, probably after work or in the morning, depending on what time I get up, I will jump in here and let you know what I choose for my next one. I've just gotten home from work today. So we are going to talk about who I am choosing for my next bestie favorite, and that is going to be Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads. I did end up choosing my book last night, so I'm going to walk you through the options I had and why I chose the one that I did. So the 3 options altogether that I had for Kayla are Vladimir by Julia May Jonas, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and then Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Now, I've never read an Abby Jimenez book, and it's on a lot of my friends' favorite lists, and just at the bookstore I work at, they are always flying off the shelves. But I was talking to Kayla a little bit, and she expressed that of these 3, she kind of has most memories of this one, or this was most memorable to her. So I'm going to go with Vladimir by Julia May Jones, and I started the audiobook last night. I only got about 2 chapters in last night. I'm on page 31. I definitely have some thoughts, but this is a pretty short book, so I'm going to save my opinions until I finish later. Vladimir follows an English professor as her husband is facing allegations of sexual misconduct, and she is kind of coming to terms and gripping with that while also forming her own unique obsession, and that's like the backdrop of the story. Again, I don't want to tell you my thoughts until I finish, but I definitely have them and I'm intrigued to share them with you, so look forward to that. I hope to finish this tonight. Like, it's pretty short. The audiobook is only about 10 hours not sped up, so I think I won't have any problems. But yes, this is the one I'm going with. But I thought we would go ahead and talk over some of Kayla's favorite things together because, you know, I want to spend some time being my besties. Now, Kayla's favorite color is blue, so I went ahead and I chose a blue bookmark. This is actually my Take Me to the Lakes Where All the Poets Went to Die. I don't belong, and my beloved, neither do you. This is my Taylor Swift bookmark, which brings me to my bestie's other favorite, which is music. Not necessarily Taylor Swift. I actually don't know if I know off the top of my head what her thoughts are on Taylor, but that doesn't matter. In general, she really, really loves music. So another very, very exciting thing that came out recently is our Spotify Wraps. So I thought it would be fun to, sorry Kayla, put her Wrapped on blast and listen to her top 5 songs while I fold some laundry that I've got going on the day bed behind me. So I'm going to listen to her top 5 songs and also just kind of like walk through her other top 5 artists. But before I do hers, I should probably put myself on blast. So we're going to start with mine. If you see me looking over here at all, it's because I'm pulling up my laptop to do this. Now, Kayla and I actually don't have any overlap on our Spotify Wrapped, like literally not a single artist. Maybe the songs, I didn't look quite yet, but not a single artist. So I think this will be interesting and maybe I'll find a new song to add to my playlists. First things first, I do like listening to music. I usually really just listen to Taylor Swift, to be completely honest. The other day before these came out, or right when they came out, my friend was like, oh, who do you think is going to be your top 5? And I literally listed all 5 artists because it's Taylor Swift and then occasionally other people. And I listen like a decent amount. I definitely am more of like a listen to YouTube videos or that's it kind of gal. So I don't put music on as much as that. Like if there was a YouTube Wrapped and you could see how many videos I rewatch over and over as comfort videos, that would be a fun thing. I literally even traveled like out of state a couple times, and in that road trip situation, I was obviously listening to music, and I still hit barely over 10,000 minutes of listening. Kayla, 87,369. Girl, you're listening. Kayla is a music girl, and I knew that about her already, like I said. So I think that's very exciting that like if she's listening that much, this must be the cream of the crop. Like this has to be the high tier music. So I'm excited to look at what we're going to listen to, but let's first go back to mine. So yes, I have just a little over 10,000 minutes, 10,387. I was correct on my top 5 artists. My 5th top artist is Chappell Roan. I wouldn't say I'm like original Chappell fan or anything like that. I definitely barely started listening to her now that she's kind of hyping up, and that's it. And then Sabrina Carpenter though, girlie, I'm a fan. Definitely not like a original album kind of fan, but last year her Christmas album really sent me down a Sabrina Carpenter path and way of life. So this year, the fact that literally tonight as I'm filming this is her Sabrina Carpenter holiday show, I'm so excited. So she's my 4th artist. 3rd is actually a deep dive, and that's Olivia Rodrigo. I'm a big fan. I love these 2 girls, love the messy situation, but Olivia, I loved since High School Musical, the musical, the series. I was a big fan of that show. I loved seeing her on there. It's so cool that like she's living the dream that her character Nene had. It's like really kind of a cool parallel. So I'm definitely a big Olivia Rodrigo fan. And then 2nd, which was really exciting, is AJR. We saw this band in concert when they came in May, and we'd been listening to them for a little while. Nick's a big fan, so I really, really like them, and I recommend listening to them. They're like fun music. They have really unique beats and unique tones, and even their music that's like verbally sad, the beats are like fun. So it's a good time. The concert was fantastic as well. But to prepare for the concert, we listened to their albums over and over again, so that probably upped them on my list. I think they were Nick's top artist. Like, all of his songs were AJR. And then my number one artist, I mean, are we surprised here? My number one artist is Taylor Swift. And not only is my number one artist Taylor Swift, my top 5 songs are all Taylor Swift songs. We've got 5 is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Genuinely one of the greatest songs she's ever created. 4th, I have Fortnite featuring Post Malone. I'm surprised this one's as high as it is. It's probably just because it shuffles on. I definitely wouldn't say it's one that I am craving and go to turn on, but it must just be, you know, it's a hit for her, so Spotify's pumping it out. 3rd, though, is probably one of my favorite songs of hers of all time, and that is You're Losing Me. Midnights is my favorite album, so this one just, it hits very, very hard. 2nd, I then have Down Bad, which is probably my favorite song as well from her, especially from Tortured Poets Department. I just love that song, and I'm always doing like the TikTok dance while I'm in my car, so that's just a fun thing to do. Recommend it. And then my number one top song is really surprising to me. I didn't actually think it would be this one. I thought it would maybe be I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, which got 5th, but it's Slut, which is from the 1989 Vault tracks. I do love that song. I listened to it on the way to work. Ashley commented that she loved that my top 3 songs, like the playlist I would listen to, is Slut, Down Bad, and You're Losing Me. And I'm like, yeah, that's honestly, if I only had about 15 minutes to listen to songs, those are the 3 songs I would choose. So that's my list. I don't know how interested you were in that, but that's my list. Now, if we compare that list to Kayla's, so Kayla's, let's start with her top artist. Her 5th artist is Tyler Childers. I don't know who that man is. I have no idea who that is. Then she has Hozier as number 4. I do like Hozier. I wouldn't say I seek him out. My friend here is a big fan, so they definitely are like obsessed. I wouldn't say it's one that I really go to, but I do in general like more acoustic music and more folky lyrical based music versus like heavier metal instrumental music. So I think that I definitely, if all the list is like Hozier or other artists that I see on here, I think I could like them. Okay, then 3rd we have Megan Maroney. Also never heard of them. Then 2nd we have Noah Kahan. This is another case of Hozier, but I do think I like Noah Kahan more. I don't really seek him out, but his hits like Stick Season, Dial Drunk, I'll always listen to them when they come on. I do enjoy them. Olivia Rodrigo's version of Stick Season, love that. And then her top artist is Lizzie McAlpine. I think I've heard a couple of her songs before. I definitely have seen her name pop up in my like day lists, because I do like to listen to my day list and mix it up a little bit. It isn't just Taylor. One time I did have a day list that was literally entirely Taylor Swift music, and that was a wonderful day. But yeah, I couldn't name songs other than maybe Ceilings. Isn't that one of her songs? Or like Airplane or something like that. That's like the only things I could think of off the top of my head. Let's switch over now. So Kayla's top 5 songs are kind of surprising, actually. Like I know at least 2 of them. Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan is her 5th one. I obviously know that one. Big fan. I'll enjoy listening to that today. Then number 4 is All Yorn. All Yorn. I've literally never heard of this song in my entire life, so I'll be looking that one up. And then 3rd is I Guess. No idea either. And then 2nd is Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Love that song, love her. I think Espresso was the number 1 streamed song on Spotify, so that's exciting. And then 1st is Noah. Is that by Noah Kahan? I have no idea. I've never heard of that one either. So that's fun. 2 that I love, that I'll be happy to listen to. 3 to try. And then I might, depending on how long it takes me to get through the chores and all that, I'll probably see at least 1 or 2 songs from the other artists that maybe I hadn't listened to before, and I will check back in to let you know what I think of these. But I'm excited. Kayla, I'm going to listen like you for a little bit. I'm going to take your recommendations, and I'll let you know what I think.
Girl, such a problem. Tell me what I gotta
to interrupt this cleaning session because I finished doing the laundry. I still have a couple songs though, so I'm gonna keep listening, but I wanted to give you an update. First song, Good Luck Babe, iconic. Great way to bust through laundry. Love that song. Second song was actually by Tyler Childers, whatever. It's the Yorin. I didn't realize that was that song. I definitely have heard that one before. I liked it. I liked the vibe and the fact that he's on her list. I basically got everybody from her list in these 5 songs, which is fun. I think I would listen to more of him. I cannot necessarily say the same of I Guess by Lizzie McAlpine. It's not doing it for me. I'm listening to that one right now. Not doing it for me. Okay, can confirm after finishing that Lizzie McAlpine song, didn't like it. So I'm gonna insert some thoughts. I really like that Yorin song. So if you think of other ones like that from him that I should try, let me know down below. This is for Kayla also. And then for Lizzie McAlpine, if I didn't like the last song, what was it, like I Guess or whatever, if I didn't like that, are there other ones I would like, or should I just, is that kind of her vibe and I won't like it? It wasn't like bad, it was just too slow for me. I think I do like a little more pop than that. Those are my thoughts. Now though, we have espresso, so now we're gonna pop. Okay, if you can't tell, that song's a fucking bop, and Emmett and I could not help but jam along. So now, luckily, Kayla's number 1 song was actually by that Megan Maroney, and it's called Noah. Her picture is definitely giving pop queen, so I have hopes. Okay, surprise of the century. I really liked that song, Noah by Megan Maroney. Definitely much more country than I expected. I do know Kayla does like country music a little bit more, and so far that Tyler Childers, who I think is also probably country, it sounded pretty country, and then this Megan Maroney, I'm not anti-country. I listened to it a lot when I was younger. I just lean more pop now. But I thought that was really, really good. I definitely would listen to more of her. And what's interesting, so Kayla, congratulations. You've converted me into a Megan Maroney stan. Maybe. I should probably listen to more. But all of her like top 5 popular songs, Noah isn't in that list. So it's interesting that that is Kayla's favorite, like her literal top, I think that was her top song, is not even this artist's top 5. So I'm kind of intrigued to listen to this artist's other top 5. But the next song and the final one for these purposes, I actually found a Noah Kahan song that has Hozier in it. So we're gonna listen to Northern Attitude with Hozier. I'm gonna go listen to that, and that'll be our last one for this challenge. But I might come back and listen to more Megan Maroney later. That was really good. I really liked that one. I always kind of think Noah Kahan's songs are funny because I am from the North. I'm from Ohio. So every time he's like, sorry, I'm from the North, I'm mean. Or I'm from the North, I'm like this because we don't have much sunlight. And I'm like, real sees real. So I really liked that one. I thought it was really, really good. It's so funny that there's a song with both him and Hozier. Like, I imagine fans of both went feral when this came out. Kayla, I would like to know if it's actually one that you have heard before. I mean, I assume you've heard it before, but is it one you like? So of Kayla's top 5 songs, though, I loved all of them except one, and then I added a bonus one for me. So I only didn't like really one of them, and of the artists, I have 2 more artists to look into. So Kayla, 10 out of 10. Definitely think that this is a fun collection of music. Like, it's so fun that she has 2 super poppy songs and then 3 more vibey songs. It's like really a collection of many things, and I can see why she must listen to so much music if she has such a variety of options that she listens to. So that was really fun. I had a really good time. That's all I really have to add to that. But that was really fun. So I'm going to go ahead now and read some more of Vladimir, and I'll probably just check in when I finish this. Hi friends, I have just gotten home from work, and I can successfully say that I have completed Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. I didn't love it. I don't think I even really liked it, to be honest. I'm so sorry, Kayla. It is extremely well written. I'm going to start with that opinion that I get it. The girls who get it, get it. I am not the girls. So I can understand why people are big fans of this one. For me, The reason that I really struggled is because this book reminded me so much of this book, which is All Fours by Miranda July, and I read this one for my Not Your Mother's book club that I host at my work, and these books are so similar. Like, if you like one, you're gonna like the other, and I mean that they're really similar in terms of writing style, character style, conversations that are had. Both follow complex middle-aged women and their obsessions with younger men and the way that those obsessions unravel their lives. I think that they have a lot to say, and I think this one could be just as interesting of a book club book as this one was. I just have some issues with the representation of polyamory, some other things that are in here. Not that it's like to the point of judging it, it's just so far from how I like those things portrayed and how I want to consume those stories. So it was just not for me, but I definitely recommend one or the other if you do like them. So I think I'm going to end up giving it about a 2-star. It is not a top favorite of the year. So that means our challenge can continue. I've decided I'm going to switch over to reading Adriana's book. Adriana is from Carbon Bonded Books. Check out her channel. She's such an icon. I absolutely love hearing all about Adriana's traveling. She travels a lot for work, so she gets to go to all these unique places. She has a deep love for Greek mythology and Greek mythological retellings. So of her list, there were 3 options that stood out to me that I was interested in reading. The first of which was Small Miracles by, I think, Olivia Atwater. Then we had Lilith by Nikki Marmory and Recursion by Blake Crouch. This was a little hard for me. For a long time while planning this video, I thought I was going to read Lilith because it is already on my want to read. I find this figure fascinating, and as Adriana is a big fan of retellings, I thought that this would be really interesting. But I find myself more in the mood for Recursion by Blake Crouch. I've never read a single Blake Crouch book, and I have access to this audiobook right away. So I think this is the one that I'm going to choose. I have no idea what it's about, so I will get back to you on my thoughts on that, but I'm really looking forward to this. I know that he writes pretty engaging, intense science fiction books, like more like sci-fi thrillers. And I just always hear him getting recommended for sci-fi readers, and I'm a sci-fi fan. So I feel like I need to correct this issue and read this. So I will jump back in once I've made a little progress on this one and let you know some of the activities I'm going to do to be Adriana for a day. And I'll be back. Hi besties. So last night I decided to start Recursion and I got about 30% of the way in. This is so good. Like, this is so good. I'm very, very hooked into the story. This is following 2 perspectives, one of which is a scientist that has been working on this cure for Alzheimer's because her mother is dealing with memory loss. And so her goal was to create this way for people suffering with this illness to re-experience memories and just help jog that memory. And so that's the one perspective, and of course that didn't quite go the way she expected. Then the other perspective is this cop who is investigating this disease that's creating false memories in people. So it's called false memory syndrome, and basically someone wakes up and they are in a completely different life than they were before, and oftentimes it's for the worst, and it's leading to like a 10% suicide rate. So content warnings for sure. This is definitely, I don't want to say heavier than I expected, but just going a route that I didn't expect. And so it opens with a woman who is going to commit suicide, and our main character is trying to talk her down from that. He has a lot of trauma himself from losing his daughter in a hit and run when she was probably like 13, 14, and he is like trying to move on from that, but also his life will just never be the same. And he also has just kind of seems to have accepted his life as it is and has just imagined that it's not, you know, he's never going to feel the emotions he did before. Him and his wife divorced not long after his daughter died. It seemed like his life kind of spiraled for a little while. And I don't want to get into too much of like what's going to happen from there, but this is such a fast read. I'm very, very hooked. I was honestly kind of worried when I started it, just as soon as I found out we were following a cop, because that's just not typically my thing. I don't really like crime thrillers, especially. I've learned since running a thriller book club at work that I don't really love thrillers, but the extra elements of sci-fi added to this are really, really fun. Like, it is possible this is a 5-star, and I'm kind of nervous about that, but we will have to see what happens. I have to go get groceries in a little bit today, and otherwise I was going to kind of do an arts and craft, so I have some time to read. In terms of what am I going to do to be Adriana for a day, I am going to get a couple of sour candies to try because her favorite candies are chocolate and sour candy. A couple friends had sour candy, but I think I'm going to do a little taste test with some of hers. Then her favorite colors are orange and green. So I have a bookmark to decide on. Okay, I've made my decision thanks to Nick's help. I'm going to use this little orange ducky. He's wearing a little orange and green outfit. So this will be my Adriana bookmark. Before I was just using the paper I'm taking notes on, but now I have an official little bookmark in there. Otherwise, the biggest thing that I really think of when I think of Adriana is weightlifting and going to the gym. I'm not opposed to doing that. I just don't know how much I want to go out today, so I think I might adapt that a little bit because Adriana also loves her dog. So maybe I will take Charmin on a nice little walk. I just am not in the mood for socializing, and so that's where I'm at. But I think we could do a little trip around the neighborhood. He loves it. We do that all the time, so he'll have a good time. But I'm going to go because I got to go pick up my groceries in a little bit. I'm so not in the mood to socialize that I did a grocery pickup, and that is actually not like me. I love doing my grocery shopping, but it's been a long week of work, and I don't want to see anybody. Hello, friends. So, Adriana, like many of my friends, have said that their favorite candies are sour candies. So I have quite an assortment of sour candies to try with Nick and Emmett, so we are going to give them a shot. So I have no idea which of these specifically is every single person's favorite, if any of them are at all. So please, besties, as you watch this, let me know if a certain one is your favorite. I could probably pull up the Secret Santa list to check if anybody said, but I don't want to do that right now. So we are going to try some of these. So the ones that we saw first are interesting, but I am not opposed. So these are Sour Punch Pickle Roulette. Taste to test your odds. And the flavor options are green apple, lemon lime, watermelon, and pickle. I'm intrigued. I do love pickles. Like, I'm a fan. So apparently it's like literally just an occasional one of these will be pickle. It smells like nothing. Are we all trying the same one first or our own? And like split up, like pass them? Or just your own?
I think we should do our own.
Okay. Do you want to grab your own?
I want to grab my own. I am putting my fate in your hands.
What are you guys hoping for?
Pickle.
I feel like the watermelon might be just a bad flavor.
I think I got pickle.
I think I got lemon lime.
I either got lemon lime or pickle. I think it's pickle.
I think it's pickle.
I think it's pickle.
Want to try mine?
No, yours tastes more pickly.
Yours was lemon lime. Oh! This tastes just like pickle! I'm so mad! Oh, yours is so lemon lime. Was that pickle?
Yeah, that was yours.
How'd you like it?
The pickle
Uh-huh.
was, it was an intense flavor. I wasn't expecting it to come through so strongly.
Yeah. What do you think?
The lemon lime was a nice trickier one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try the pickle one and it's like, oh, that's obvious.
I can't believe my first bite was pickle. I would rate these like a 7 out of 10 on the sour scale. I think they're a little sour. The pickle was intense. That could have clouded my judgment.
I rate this 2 puckers out of 10.
Anybody want another one? Test their fate. If anybody wants to finish my pickle one, let me know. I kind of want to do these ones next.
Yeah.
These are super sour gushers. I was a gushers girl, that's for sure. Gushers don't last long in this house when we occasionally get them. Oh, they're like wet. That's why I don't love gushers sometimes. Oh, this is gonna be so sour. By the way, I don't love sour candy. I do, but it hurts my mouth. It's sore, like it's intense. Ah.
Oh, they're like just free balling in here.
Yeah. Oh, I'll fuck those up. Those are really good. Ah! That one was sour. I don't know what flavor that became. That one was very sour. Not all of them, but that one I had was very sour. These will not last long. Okay, there's one specific one that I think is the most sour candy. And I don't want to do it tonight. So you're going to have to keep watching, and I'll do it later for someone.
Danielle, what would you rate this on the sour scale?
Like a 4, but that one bite was like an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a 9. I was flabbergasted how sour that was.
I'd say about a 3 overall.
That's so interesting. Both of you rated this less sour than the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
I had a different experience. I thought this one had a more tartness to it. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 10.
It's hard to say when it was just so superior of a candy.
It's also very true. It
My
was
mouth
much better
could have
than
been a
this
little more
one.
numb from the first one.
This is true. Okay, I think I know what I want our last one tonight to be.
I'm so excited.
These are trolley, sour bright octopus. Now this I think is like Nick's favorite. This is definitely the one that does not stay around much for him. Oh, should I try and find the superior one? I don't know which one to be superior, but probably the one that's blue raspberry. And there's only one of those, which is criminal.
They're either octopus pie or spiders.
Yeah, they do look oddly spider. They should just recolor them for Halloween. Do they do that? Okay.
Do they? Ooh, we all got a different color.
Dink and sink. They got a good squish, you know? Better than the regular gummy worms, I would argue. So not all of the other gummy things taste like gummy worms. I think gummy worms are better than those. But these with all the legs are like having like 8 gummy worms. So I definitely can't do more than like one of these. But it is very good. It's a little intense for me. Not in sourness, but just in like I'm getting hit with sugar.
Yeah. It's a lot of candy for one piece of candy.
That was a good one to end on. Other than those gushers, those will be gone by the end of the night. I see why you like them.
And then give the sourness 4.5.
I'm gonna give the sourness 4.5.
This was just about as sour as the gushers were for me. I'm going to say 3 on this one as well. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, they're ginormous. Like, you don't get a ton in the bag, and that's because they're like the size of my head. Look, they're the size of my head. So, that's it. I'll tell you more about the book later. Bye! So, it's been a couple days since I've been here. I kind of think that was good because it gave me some time to digest my thoughts about Recursion by Blake Crouch. I finished it. And here's the thing. You don't have to live with what I rate this book. I have to live with what I rate this book. And I just kind of have thought about it, and I do think I have to live my truth. This is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm so sorry, Adriana. It was so close. You almost did it. I loved this book. It was very, very devourable. Let me insert a little clip of me actually like live reading this and just my face the entire time things were happening. My main critiques would simply be that the science logic didn't make enough sense for me, and I don't need to understand it. I'm not going to understand math. I'm not going to understand certain parts of science, but it was distractingly confusing where I found myself being pulled out of the story because I would just kind of question something. So that's just like, it's not a big deal, but it took down a little bit of my enjoyment. And then the second part was because this has to do so much with memory, it got pretty repetitive at points. Again, I don't really think that's a huge fault of the book. Like, it overall is still a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't say there were major moments of that. But by about the 75-80% mark, I was starting to be like, can we wrap this up? Can we get to the ending? So 4.5. The challenge continues. It was really fun to be Adriana. This was the third Friends pick, so I do still have 4 Friends picks to get to. See if any of them will be a 5-star. I will check in with you tomorrow when I've chosen which one I'm starting with. I'm coming at you now wearing my amazing bluey barrettes. Sparkly, fantastic. As well as my Taylor Swift albums as book shirt, which was gifted to me by none other than Bailey at Is Bailey Reading. And that is because, as you could probably put together, my next bestie pick is going to be from Bailey. I love Bailey a ton. She's super creative. If you have not checked out Squash That series, it's probably the readathon that connected me most to this friend group and that just really brought me back to wanting to film my own booktube things and just get part of the smaller community again. She's also the creator and host of the Shelf This book club. She's truly doing it all. She's a mother. She works full time. She's just like kind of inspiring in so many ways. And then yes, she bought me this amazing sweater that literally like I teared up when I opened it. I was so emotional and it was just so nice of her to send it to me. So I love you, Bailey. I'm so excited to be here at your favorite book to pick. So the 2 options that interested me most for Bailey was Wolf Song by TJ Klune and The Logger Queen of Minnesota by J. Ryan Straddle. And this was a hard decision. I really wanted to read this one ever since especially Adriana read it and gave it a 5-star and loved it so much. And just every friend who's reading this pick has been loving it. And so I'm super, super intrigued and I think I could love it. And then Wolf Song, which is so conflicting because I already had this on my TBR. Like, I was already really wanting to get to this one because I've loved most of TJ Klune's books. The only one that I read so far that I did not love was In the Lives of Puppets. That one was just not for me. But I really love the other ones I've read. And so I was like, I wanted to get to this, especially with the redone covers just being so pretty and fun. So choosing between these 2 was not easy. I decided, though, that I was going to go with Wolf Song by TJ Klune simply because, okay, listen, Bailey, listen to me. It's because I still want to read this one, and so I'm not even going to return it to the library. Like, I'm going to keep it because I want to get to it, maybe even by the end of the year still. Whereas Wolf Song, I've had on my TBR for so long and have just not gotten to it. So I think this is the only thing that's going to push me to officially get to it. So I chose this one. Spoiler alert, I'm about 30% of the way in. I'm loving it. It's so good. There are so many things to discuss already that I feel like would be interesting. Like wow. how do you say so little while saying so much? I just feel like I could see why someone would not like this at all. Like, I could just totally see why it is so not your jam, but it is my jam. I'm having a wonderful time. TJ Klune, the writing itself, TJ Klune just has this very easy to identify voice. Like, I just can read TJ Klune's writing and I can kind of know it's a TJ Klune book. And I think this is especially prevalent in the way that he just captures the magic of a child and how they can run 50 miles a minute and how energetic they are and how enthusiastic they are. And he just does that really well. And, you know, The House on Cerulean Sea is very, very popular for a reason. We all loved the kids in that book. And the ones in this one are just as endearing. We start with our main character, Ox, when he is, I think, like about 12 or 11, and his father is leaving the family. And it happens in these like small little vignettes of him growing up and kind of what his life looked like once his father left. So next door moves in the Bennett family, and Ox and their youngest son form a close friendship pretty quickly. Like, you can kind of tell something is going on because his family is just odd, and the way they accept him so quickly feels kind of odd. But I love the directions it's going. I love that writing of TJ Klune's. I love how kind of staccato it is, but it feels very intentional and artfully done. I'm just really eating this up. Like, this is really having an effect on me, both in the writing and the story and the plot. That's all I really have regarding the plot right now, though, because I don't want to share too much. I think too much of this book would be spoilery. I just think it's setting up really well for a series. I look forward to definitely continuing the series unless like something horrible happens at the end. Is it a 5-star? It actually feels too soon to tell. I need to see what the rest of the plot is, because right now we've had so much of the character development. This story is definitely focused on the characters, and it is a character-focused story, which is my favorite. Like, it is my preference for a story to focus on that. But I think I'm getting really close to the point where plot is becoming clearer, and I do need a little bit more now to keep me hooked, because I already care about the characters so dearly. I've been tearing up while I've been reading. I just needed something to get the momentum going, and I think it's starting. So Bailey, good pick so far. And now that I just yapped for way too long, I do want to tell you about the activity I'm going to do for Bailey. So Bailey has recently become obsessed with coloring, and I love that for me, because now I'm going to color like Bailey likes to color. I don't have markers though, because markers stress me out. I have colored pencils, but I do already have this Heartstopper coloring book that I got for my partner last year for Christmas. So I'm going to flip through this and choose one to color. I'll put a little B-roll on, hopefully, of me doing that. And I'm going to have just a wonderful Bailey day. I'm freshly laundered, but I really want to color right now. So we're going to do it anyway. I'm very excited to channel Bailey in this coloring and tell you about this book I read. Here's the picture I chose to color. It's Nick and Charlie cuddling in bed. It's got like some holly on the roof above them, or like stringing around them. So that's the plan. I have a set of 50 color pencils. No idea if they're good ones, but it's a good variety of colors. And I'm just so excited to tell you about this book that I read. First, let me show you the bookmark that I chose for Bailey. Bailey has really become obsessed with Fourth Wing in this last year. But in particular, I had a silver one and a gold one. And Bailey, I did some hunting. She does prefer gold. So Bailey, this is your bookmark that I'm using inspired by you. It was a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. Which, there was a TikTok audio of Hiccup saying this from How to Train Your Dragon, and I thought that it was from How to Train Your Dragon. I googled, it is actually from Fourth Wing, but I can only read that quote in Hiccup's voice. I also have absolutely no game plan on these colors, so I don't know how it's gonna go. I was gonna make his sweater blue, but now I kind of want to make it red. I do like, my preferred coloring method is actually to use markers on the border and then color in with colored pencil. And I just don't think I have markers. Should I go check? Will I be upset if I don't go check? Yes. Okay, so I have actually like the lamest collection of extra colored pencils and markers. Like there's literally 5 colors and it's the same pack twice. But I might try to make it work because there's a green and there's a pink. And that's my life. So let me tell you about Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I finished it and I cannot truly begin to articulate how much I loved it. I absolutely am going to buy a copy, and then I already put a hold on for the library for the sequel, but I do think, especially if I like book 2, I'm gonna buy the entire series because I just love the new covers anyway. I did want to tell you I am also listening to a Martine video from just Martine while I'm doing my Heartstopper coloring book. And it's making me think of Martine because they run the Heartstopper readathon, and that's, I'm channeling them as well, and they're keeping me company while I color. I'm trying to really figure out how to articulate how I felt about this book, but I loved it, like, so deeply. It had the characters, the writing, and the plot that I was kind of searching for in all the other books I did for this challenge. Like, it just hit those spots for me. I know I mentioned just how much I like the writing, that staccato feeling that doesn't really go away, and it just is really fitting with the vignettes that he tells. I also just really appreciated having a story about a male-male relationship that's actually written by a man. I don't often say I want something to be written by a man, but you know, it was just nice to have a gay man writing a gay love story in a way that I feel like is not often the trend right now in romance books. It's not that I don't think women can write sex scenes between men or that I wouldn't enjoy them. I just don't, if I can pick up something that is more own voices, I would like to. And not every man that necessarily writes about sex means that they are sexually active, or, I mean, they could be any spectrum of sexuality. But it's one of those little bonuses for the story. You know what I mean? I also think it just in general was a really good setup for a series. Like, I could imagine many different ways it could go, but I also have a lot of questions in a way that it doesn't feel incomplete. I have things that are intriguing me enough to want to keep reading. I accidentally gave Nick some gnarly eyebrows, so you're gonna see those when I pull it up. I feel like I probably didn't say all the things that I wanted to say in this wrap-up of this book, but I just absolutely adored it. I saw some reviews that said this, and I think even Bailey explicitly said it, where she was like, if you're a New Moon girly, you'll love it. And I am a New Moon girly, and I fucking loved it. So you could probably guess then that this was in fact the 5-star winner of this video challenge. I'm gonna do an outro later on, and I think in that I'll mention to you what my plan is for the other few friends that I have to complete their books. If you're a New Moon girly, I recommend Wolf Song. It was really good. Now to show you my coloring page. I didn't do fantastic on this. I found this Heartstopper book to actually be kind of difficult to color because it's scenes from the actual comic, so it kind of like cuts off in weird spots on the paper, and certain details I just didn't think through what to color. But this is my little friends, and Charlie is actually telling Nick about this channel. The channel's name is @isbaileyreading, so you should definitely go check it out for more book recommendations. That's what they're talking about. I wish I knew how to do cute little details, but I did give them pink rosy little cheeks, and I did the holly pretty well. I was actually pretty proud of that part, but that was fun. I don't know if I will do all the pages in this, but the one was fun. There's also some pages that are like basically them fucking, and I don't know how much I want to color that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna let future Danielle give you the wrap up. Hi friends, I'm just coming in to wrap up my vlog now. In this vlog, I managed to read these 4 bestie faves. We had Ashley's favorite, Kayla's favorite, Adriana's favorite, and Bailey's favorite, totaling a 4-star, I like 2-star, 4.5 star, and a 5 star. So these were some wonderful picks, and even this one that I didn't love, I'm happy I finally got to because I was curious about it already. Now I do still have 3 bestie faves that I need to get to, so I'm going to be working on a 24 and 48 vlog, literally like today. So make sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to see that one when it comes out. I'll also give you my thoughts on the rest of the sour candy because I'm still going to shape that vlog similar to this where I'm going to do those besties favorites for the 24 hours. But yes, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go do some more reading. It's Christmas Eve, so you know we have exciting things happening tonight and tomorrow. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!